Hello, everybody. I definitely have feedback. That's amazing. Can you guys let me know if you have feedback? Hello, hello. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Maybe that's the. Oh, what if I do this? Can you guys? Okay. I'm assuming you can see me, but I'm not sure if you're having that same feedback that I am. It looks like everybody is not having it. Yeah, there is a slight echo, right? What is that? What is that? I need to be able to have this huge issue that I obviously never fixed, um, where I still need to hear what's happening because I'm going to have guests, but I can also hear myself, and that's uber frustrating. Let's try moving things around and see if that helps. I don't know. Maybe, yeah. Maybe if I turn down. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to roll with it. Please let me know if it gets annoying. How about that? It's annoying to me because you know how when you're on the phone and you can hear yourself in the conversation twice? That's what's happening to me right now. Okay. So it is probably this laptop position. Let me see if I can fix that. I don't know, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to let it go. I swear to God. Okay. Okay. I am waiting for Lauren, of course, right? And Patrick to join in. They are running a little bit behind, but they should be joining me soon. Oh, here's Patrick. There he is.
Hey, Tiff.
Hello.
Hey, can you hear me all right?
I can hear you. I'm getting feedback on my end, and I'm not sure what to do about that. And yes, Jen, it has been said multiple times. Thank you for the reminder. I do need headphones. I actually tried setting them up, but they wouldn't connect, of course. And I have been sick, under a rock sick, since my last stream, so I have not done any of the things I was supposed to do, i.e., looking into how to fix my audio problem with this fancy equipment.
I have a pair of headphones I could probably mail you.
I have good headphones. I just couldn't make them connect to everything. It's just I'm not used to this. I have a like the bone conducting kind, which I really like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I just haven't figured out how to work everything together. So I'm hearing
audio is good.
Yeah, that's good because it hasn't been in the past, as you know. So as long as you guys can hear me and you're not getting as much feedback as I am, that's great. I will actually I will have Brad help me with this. He has helped me a few times on different things, and they were like big dummy things where I was like, "Oh, you're supposed to check the box." But I still am very happy for his help, so I will be touching base with him.
Well, I can say as someone who listens like through TV and through headphones, it like you pick up so much more on the headphones.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think,
hey, you gotta walk those dogs, gotta do that commute. So I mean, if anyone's listening to Big Tiff, I think they're doing the right thing either way.
Well, thanks for that. Yeah, real quick. So Bruce says the thumbnail said Tad gets worse. And I was like, is that Tag's twin? Well, that's kind of what we thought when we saw the document that I'm going to bring up. Oh, Lauren's here.
Do you want me to shut the door?
Whoa!
Yeah, Lauren.
I'm about to freeze my balls off in this house. What's up?
Well, Lauren knows because
Hey,
I
what's up?
texted her earlier that somebody drove through my front yard, and like right before I was about to go on the stream, there were like 3 ambulances that drove by. So it's been wild here today.
I guess I found somebody else's yard.
Yeah, right. I hate.
I'm trying to fix my thing so there's no feedback. Hang on.
You. What now?
That's not it. Is that it?
I'm having feedback. It's my issue again, of course, because I haven't fixed my stuff since last time.
I got it. I got another monitor here now, and so there's like a bunch of different speakers or whatever to choose from, and I can't remember which one is over my headphones. So,
Oh, gotcha.
oh, good. I figured it out. I only had to try 5 different times.
Well, it might be because of my issue.
Damn,
I'm
Patrick, you're looking like ass. What's going on?
Don't you dare speak about Michael Keaton like that.
Oh, is that who that is?
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh my gosh, is that?
Oh,
what
I
it
see
is?
it now. Oh, sorry, I thought that was someone else. My bad.
Oh, well, it
my
could be
God.
mistaken for someone else before their drug and alcohol problem.
Anyways, I mean, we don't need to talk about me. Let's go. Let's see what Tiff has to say.
So, let me pull up the document that I was referencing a second ago. I'm going to make sure I pull the right one first. Okay. Now let me share. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. Okay. So, oh my gosh. Okay, I've been sick for it feels like a year and a half, but it's really only been a month and a half. But so much has happened, and I know that, and it's
I mean, we've
impossible.
been sick all year, technically, right?
Technically, I have.
I'm so
Pretty on brand for me, but so much has happened. It's crazy, and it's impossible to go through all of it, like impossible. So I'm just gonna jump in, and then we'll do streams later to kind of backtrack and talk about tie in maybe the impact of certain.
I'm just here to not do any work, so you go ahead.
All right, good deal. So, as we know, Laura had her debtor's exam on Monday. And was it Monday? Feels like it's been a long week already. It was Monday. We got to listen to it, those that, were able to join the call. And then there was audio pushed out too, so that you could appreciate it. I so wanted to put in the thumbnail that Patrick, not that Patrick, was my guest, because if you know, you know. But Patrick was the comic relief of the Zoom call that we didn't know we needed. He was this guy who was, I don't know, elderly, older. I wouldn't even say elderly, just older guy. And he was maybe doing dishes. He was definitely eating. He had a camera that was following him around the room, which was funny. He was blowing his nose. And in the way the call was set up, like his camera was right above his little thumbnail, at least what I saw.
I wasn't
was
on that. I didn't know
above
you could
Laura.
actually see anything.
It was like above Laura.
I don't know why. I thought it was only audio. I missed it. So
if you joined it by Zoom live, you saw.
So I did not. So
yeah. So it looked at at one point like he was blowing his nose onto her. So it was hilarious. But he had his TV on, and the poor trustee was like, I don't know where that's coming from. And it was so loud. And
I was just dying because I'm like, of course this dude's name is Patrick. Like ruining my non-brand over here.
Exactly. It was so funny. And
then
so
I wanted to name him.
So Marcus is the one that pointed out who the person was, like that it was this Patrick person, so that the trustee could mute it. It was just so funny. So
I got such bad secondhand embarrassment. I took my headphones out. Is that what ended up happening?
It was very embarrassing. they ended up muting him. But I felt that too. I was so anxious for it. Yeah, I was happy for this Patrick that he wasn't that Patrick. Exactly. That would be funny if we could have gotten that Patrick. But yeah. Oops. Yeah. It was funny. It was just a little, like I said, it was the comic relief we did not know we needed. The call was amazing. I mean, it exceeded expectations. You guys can listen to it.
Oh,
It's
I
beautiful.
re-listened to it like 3 times. I cannot believe how many times she put herself in the drink.
Oh yeah. And so that to me ties into this because, you know, I'll just really quickly, as I've looked at all the stuff in this case since 2020, whatever year it was. I don't remember now. I'm getting my years mixed up because I'm old. But I kept like I would find something and I would make a connection. And I do that a lot of my job when I'm researching stuff. And a lot of times it's like, yeah, that's definitely a problem. And it's probably a fraudulent document, but nothing will ever happen. Nothing comes of it, right? Like so much fraud happens in real estate, it's really gross, and nothing ever gets done about it. So I don't hold a lot of expectations for those things when I make connections like that. Like, I don't know. One property I was searching in Chicago for work, like it was somehow related to like the Chicago area rapist somehow. I don't know. It's like this whole, I come across these weird things, right? So anyway, with this case, I found these connections where I'm like, that's a problem. That's illegal. That's an issue. That's like all these little light bulbs of red flags, right? Let me use many metaphors. So I don't have high hopes. And I was literally just saying an hour before this document was posted that it's frustrating because I see it happen all the time. Nothing gets done out of it. And good people lose. You know, Woodnick's team comes to mind a lot. And Omar's team and anybody who's represented these guys. Because the guys are obviously victims. But the law firms that have really stepped up and worked hard and represented them are out money. I don't care what you think, they're out money. It's kind of like this abstract concept of billing and stuff like that, but it's real money and it's a loss. So, you know, it's frustrating when you think nothing will ever happen. Like she's just, meh, whatever. I won't ever pay it. I don't have to. And so she filed, obviously we know she filed her bankruptcy. She was trying to, I'm sure, avoid the debtor's exam. What she really didn't count on, I guess, or consider, I don't know. I can't get in her brain. It's scary in there.
I mean, she had no notes. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like if you come into a debtor's 341 meeting with no notes, then you really did not expect to get questioned.
Right. And that's you know, the problem, right? So it's like, I mean, the way I thought of it today was, well, I mean, it sounds like she's going to get that, you know, gastrointestinal exam that she was hoping for, because this is gonna be a problem for her, I think. And so I'm rambling. I'm trying not to, I swear. But
So
there's
what
so much in
happens
my
if she did something wrong? She gets all her money back, right?
Yeah, totally.
It's actually a cheat code, like left, up, right, left, and then she actually just immediately gets discharged.
You guys know.
That makes sense. I mean, she seems a little pressed for finances right now. I just assume she's the one who keeps stealing Megan Fox's credit card numbers.
I didn't even know that was a thing. I want some credit card numbers. No. So she really like stepped in it is basically the case, you know, the situation, because bankruptcy court does not fuck around, right? They're not gonna handle her little emails and whatever nonsense that happens, you know, like that's not going to fly here. And excuses and reasoning that doesn't make sense and circular answers and all this kind of stuff, right? It's just not going to go the same way for her. She's not going to be able to bury people in 90-page motions and stuff like that. It's very structured, it's very procedural, it's going to go how it goes. And you're going to follow, in my opinion. Again, everything's my opinion because I'm not an expert.
Do you think that
Just
the
a nerd.
trustee was like taking super close notes the whole time though? Because like the double talk was like ×2 with her.
Yeah. I do think that. I absolutely think that.
I mean, there
And
were some big hallmarks there, like it's untraceable, you know, I'm paraphrasing, where it was just like, ooh, yeah, we're gonna all remember that, including him.
right. Those are definitely like you should write down a list of no words, right? And memorize them and not say them in a
It
in your
can't be
hearing.
tracked would be like number 1. It would just be one you tattoo on your wrist.
Yeah. Don't Oh, on your wrist. So yeah, she definitely said some interesting statements that I don't think were surprising, right? Like I mean I expected the answers she gave. I really did. As frustrating as that is. I think we know what game she's playing, right? And we can kind of see where she's headed. But it is interesting to watch, like to know that everything that she has done over the past decade has been so well documented. And then you can see like, oh, red flag, boom. There's an inconsistency. There's an inconsistency. There's an inconsistency. Like she said, she didn't understand what a vested interest was in the LLCs. And I just know better. We all know better. She absolutely does know that. I think she runs a lot of the show at home. I think she's head of household at home. I really do. She just doesn't have the income to support it. And I think Ron and Jan let it happen. And they're complicit and what do you call it? Whatever. Anyway, you know, she plays all these chess moves, but then she forgets where she moved, right? So she tried to say that her mom put her on the business without her knowing or whatever. But we know that's not true. And we have documentation that that's not true. And, you know, we have, as everybody has seen, like her whole LinkedIn profile is I'm a boss babe bitch, right? Like I'm
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I want to turn those like last 3 seconds into a GIF.
That was great.
Please don't. Use somebody else's face.
You do like the little shoulder shimmy again too.
Boss babe bitch. So yeah, I think she's in trouble. Like there was a user that had their name as Laura, you in danger, girl, and I just keep going back to that because it is. It is so true. You're in danger, girl. Oh, hi, Brad. Were your ears ringing? I'm having microphone and speaker issues again.
He heard the feedback from the stream.
He probably did. We lived pretty close to each other. He probably did.
Oh, he probably drove over your yard earlier.
That's right. He wanted to get home for the
Brad
train.
did the drive-by in my yard. I didn't know. Oh my God. Okay. So you sound oops. He says, I saw the goatee in the sky through the snow clouds. Oh, it's been snowing all day. It's awful. So, yeah, anyway. So she had her hearing and yada, yada. It was beautiful. Like I was on a high for at least a day about it.
Do you want to go over some of the high points or do you want to get to the most recent update?
I'm trying to get to the most recent update. So
okay, can we pause and go over that, or do you want to get to
I know. Well, yeah, like so I'm trying to do it in a somewhat of an order because like I said, I think that it leads up to this, right? Where okay, actually step back a second even. You know, Woodnick's filing where he filed his adversarial objection whatever it's called, on Clayton's claim. It states in there, oh God, I had a point. Where'd it go? Hold on. Oh, I lost it. Dang
Well,
it.
that they don't. I mean, that they don't want her to let bankruptcy be discharged without like a
Yeah. I had a whole point and that wasn't it. But yes, that's the point of the document. But when in his document, he stated that one of the things that she had not done was disclose to the bankruptcy court in her filing that she had business partners who were also in bankruptcy, because she was supposed to have disclosed that her parents were in bankruptcy because they are business partners as well, in several businesses actually. So there's a problem with that, obviously, because you want to make sure that all your debts are listed appropriately for the business stuff, because like Ron and Jan had some business accounts listed on their bankruptcy. So the question is, were they supposed to be listed in Laura's or Ron and Jan's or all three, or how's it work? So when I was looking at all of it, I kept thinking, God, these cases are so intertwined. It just seems like they should be combined.
Yeah, like, is there a legal way for that to happen?
Yes, actually. So it's very rare. However, I do believe that this exact case or cases is almost like a perfect reason or example of why it should happen when you have two different parties filing for bankruptcy, but those parties' personal and business finances are so intertwined that they can't actually be separated into two estates, technically.
That's so pathetic.
They can, I know, right? They can combine them. And so it really does seem like, because it's very complex, right? And you've got one kind of small bankruptcy estate and you got quite large bankruptcy estate, and is everything being done correctly? I don't know. So it's interesting to me that today we see in Laura's case, because we already know that in Laura's case, the trustee hired an attorney, which is a big deal. Again, I wanted to try to follow some sort of timeline here without going too crazy, but that happened right before, I think it was right before Greg's filing. And that happens so that attorney, the trustee's attorney, can spend time doing actual investigative work, looking at the financials, looking for discrepancies, deciding if the estate has claims against parties, or because in a bankruptcy case, the idea is to protect the creditors, right? They want to make sure the creditors are made as whole as possible, if possible.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of trying to explain, is like, if you're going to ask the taxpayer to foot the bill for your poor decisions, like, there's got to be a justifiable reason for it.
Yep, exactly. So the trustee's attorney is kind of a badass, in my opinion. I looked up some of his cases, and he does some good work. I've nicknamed him the king of clawbacks.
Would it be Laura's trustee? Oh, Laura's trustee or Laura's attorney?
Laura's trustee.
Okay, gotcha.
Hired an attorney.
And you're saying the attorney has done some good work?
Yes. He does. Like, this is what they do. They are trustee attorneys, basically. So
yeah,
they're kind of like a niche.
They got a little monopoly there in good old Maricopa County.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Right. So they this is not their first rodeo. And so that attorney has like I said, filed an appearance in Laura's case, and then these things happen. Greg files his motion, the 341 meeting, the meeting of creditors happens on Monday. was it Tuesday, guys, that Ron and Jan's bankruptcy case was well, I shouldn't say dismissed. The trustee in that case filed a notice of intent to dismiss. So basically it said that Ron and Jan have not complied with their requirements that he laid out. We went over that document, all the things they had to submit, right? They didn't comply. I don't think in the document he stated line item by item, which, what they didn't comply with. He just said they didn't comply with his requirements that he filed in his recommendation on December 8th. So the
language was so broad and high level. I was like, this, I mean, I get that they have a job to do and they have to do a lot of these, but you could tell that it was managing a large caseload and this was not top priority.
And I think maybe he was even putting as much effort into it as had been put into it. Because, I mean, honestly, if they really didn't do anything, like even try to schedule a meeting or, a hearing to talk about the things that they were supposed to have done to buy themselves even more time, what the heck, man?
Which makes you think like their thinking must be, oh, well, okay, they're clearly in the wrong chapter. Like they'll go to another chapter, which makes me think like they didn't even look at like whether or not they could meet the means test. They were just like, well, you certainly don't belong here.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And so it was interesting. Like I said, the whole, it was a blessing because I'm very happy that happened. I think that the way it happened with them filing first and then her, it gave us we knew what to look for in her case, right? And it blocked them, although she did try to throw her mother under the bus. It blocked them from pointing the fingers back at each other like that Spider-Man gif, because that's what was going on paper.
Yeah, because they're under the same microscope.
Mm-hmm. In the same district, for crying out loud. Yeah, it's different chapters, but still. So anyway, that attorney, Stuart, the king of clawbacks, that's what I call him. This man is a little bit savage, but today we get this filing in Laura's case of a supplemental disclosure of counsel for trustee. Okay, so cards on the table. When I first read it, I thought it meant something else, although I shouldn't say that. My brain processed it wrong. That's all. I thought that the attorney was hiring an attorney, but it's really just assigning an attorney because this guy, Tad, to answer Bruce's question from 30 minutes ago, sorry, because his name is literally on this document, they call him Terry A. Dake, LTD, aka Tad, which really cracked a lot of us up because it's very similar to Tag.
Yeah, but, people were responding to my, post that I reposted from you was like, Tad's back? I was like, no, that's Tag. It's Tag, not Tad.
Tad. Yeah, so he is basically he's probably just like a retired or a attorney or someone who doesn't do a lot of work still, but he still works, with this firm and does ad hoc work for them. And so he's the one that's going to be doing the things that that the trustee's attorney needs to do in the case. The same things that we knew Stuart Rogers was going to do, right? It's basically that this Terry Dake is going to be the one doing it. Here's the bombshell.
Gotcha.
Let me close this one and go to, oh, I did it wrong again. See, last time I had it all figured out and then I forgot I had it figured out. Hold on. Here we go again. I forgot that's not the way to do it. I want to say minutes. Somebody can look at the timestamps if they want, but it was pretty quickly afterwards.
But basically, the lawyers hired a lawyer.
Yeah, they basically assigned a lawyer to work on the case. The trustee's lawyer assigned an attorney to work on the case. I don't know if it's instead of Stewart. It kind of seems like it's just in addition to.
I don't know that I've
But
ever seen an LTD, honestly.
yeah, he's technically not a member of the firm, so they're calling him out as, you know, as their representative too,
Yeah, his
their
business.
counsel. Yeah. So there, it's called of counsel, which I learned today is an important term, and it does make sense. So it's kind of like,
Yeah, law firms will even list of counsel on their website, and it's usually someone super senior who has a very specialized knowledge that
yeah.
a law firm can call upon in certain situations.
So here's a cool thing before I get into the bombshell part of it, which you can already see actually. Actually, that's not the same.
Wrong doc. You got
Wrong
it.
doc. It's fine. Okay, hold on. Let's do. I'm a dodo bird. Hold on. I really thought I was doing something there. Thought I had the right one up.
Hey,
Wait, this
so
time.
we're not breaching this subject tonight, but I just want to say I've seen it come in chat tonight. Laura's medium diatribe. We're not going to talk about that. However, I will say that I copy pasted it into Google Docs, and it was 24 pages. And I just wonder the possibilities if she would ever, put that kind of energy into typing into a job application.
Oh, the possibilities.
What a waste of time.
So about Tad, Mr. Terry A. Dake, he's kind of a big deal. There is I don't know if it's the right use of the word. I love saying it. Landmark case, in bankruptcy, Arizona district, whatever this is. I can't remember the District of Arizona. I thought it had a number, but anyway, where mobile homes, like the trailers that you pull behind your car, were in the Arizona Supreme Court. The case decided that those types of dwellings were not exempt in a bankruptcy case as a homestead, right? So,
Oh, wow.
like when you file for bankruptcy, Chapter 7 or any chapter really, if you have a house, you can claim it as exempt from being taken from you as long as you can do the things you're supposed to do. I won't get into the muck of it, but basically, if you do all the right things throughout your bankruptcy and you make that loan right with the mortgage or whatever, they can't take your house. For a long time, apparently, you were able to do that as well if you had a travel trailer. Because people retire and they travel, right? They go to campground to campground. They don't have a plot of land that they park it on. Mr. Dake represented a bankruptcy trustee in a case where he appealed the bankruptcy court's decision to exempt the trailer. I only quickly read the case, so don't quote me on every single detail. The bottom line is, and the Arizona Supreme Court ruled in his favor that the mobile home was not exempt from bankruptcy possession.
Wow.
So that's kind of a big deal, actually, because it had been done the other way for a long time. And that just happened in 2022, I think it was, that final decision came down.
Well, if I go all the way back to like law school, like the policy of homestead is like, we don't want to take away someone's like generational home where, they're going to raise generations of families and, live the American dream. Like homestead, I think really comes from like the travel out west pioneer days where you were literally homesteading.
Yep.
So if you have no intention to stead your home, then, I can see where he's coming from, but I'm really surprised there wasn't pushback against that from like, the special interest community.
Yeah, especially in a district like Arizona, because I feel like there might be more of that out there.
Well, I know if you go to Florida, like it is crazy. It's like apartment complex, trailer park, apartment, and
Yeah.
in nice parts of Florida. You're like,
Yeah.
why is this trailer park right next to the beach? And then you realize, oh, it's a bunch of retired vets.
Exactly. So yeah, they I'm sorry. Okay. Bruce says he has to go chat with Rob. We will behave, Bruce.
I'm personally
And
offended by that.
that gives me a chance. Lauren says no, Bruce. A chance to bring up that I am gonna do a stream with Rob on Saturday. We are gonna do comparisons between Darcy Esmanu, I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, and Laura Owens. Darcy is the other Maricopa County maniac who faked a pregnancy and ended up in with perjury and what's the other one that Laura has? Fraudulent schemes. Charges. She's got felony charges too. Not as many as Laura. So she's clearly not as much of a bossy bitch, but she's definitely
She's never fallen from grace that hard.
she's
Does she have any business websites? How many skills does she have listed on her LinkedIn account? That's the real questions you need to be asking, Tiff. It's okay. You're still new here.
I'll make notes for our stream. So she went after baseball players. Like there's a lot of similarities between these women. I'm surprised they haven't hooked up yet. But yeah, so
Ew.
talk about that one because it intrigues us.
Oh my god, can you imagine if they imagine if they met. Imagine if they linked forces. This is the worst idea anyone's ever had. How dare you will that into the existence in my brain?
I don't think that they have enough room to be in the same room together, like ego-wise. I don't think they get along because of who they are.
They can hold their weekly meetings outside at Quartet Farms.
Yeah. It's Arizona, man. A lot of stuff can be outside. So yeah. So it's crazy. But so yeah, speaking of Rob, I just want to say that we're going to be doing that on Saturday. He's doing all the heavy lifting on it. I'm literally just showing up and saying things. So he gets all the credit for it. So anyway,
don't tell people that. Oh my gosh, I have to teach you so many things.
I know. I'm such a newbie. So anyway, we see today, right after that filing, in Laura's case, we see another filing in Ron and Jan's case, which is pending dismissal. I mean, kind of boring at this point, right? Except for the trustees' financial report, which I totally want to see. Boom, baby, we see a notice of appearance. I want to scream about it, but I can't scream about it because I'm getting such feedback. It's gonna drive me crazy. I was
like a canoe or something for next time.
I was jazz hands shaking when I read this document. Just the title of it and what it is. And it is a notice of appearance by Tad in Ron and Jan's case.
Nice.
Which is a big deal. It feels like a big deal. It is a big deal in my opinion. Because yes, it's a notice of appearance. It kind of really sounds super boring. It's a notice of appearance and they want to be made aware of things that happen, filings and whatnot, like Greg filed in Laura's case. I want to know everything that somebody's going to be noticed on. I want to be noticed on, basically, is what it's saying. I think that this is a sign of something bigger. I could be wrong. I haven't been yet, but it can happen. No.
Well, it's more than just Tad joining the case. It's literally the Chapter 7 trustee joining the case.
Yeah.
This is like a Power Rangers uniting moment of bankruptcy.
I can't. My heart sings. I said I wouldn't cry tears of joy and make you all uncomfortable. Because this, I literally, after this came out, I was like, remember what I said about the dots not being connected by anybody? This is connecting the dots. People are connecting the dots. I think this is like, it's one thing to think, okay, she filed for bankruptcy and that's not going to end well. And haha, it's kind of a little bit of a joke because you don't know if anything will really come of it. Stuff's happening. Big stuff is happening, in my opinion, because I think that, you know, in the meeting of creditors, the trustee said to Marcus that he was familiar with his filing. I think he had read it. And I think that those things matter, right? And I said those things matter. I guess I should be more specific. The items mentioned in that filing matter in terms of what the bankruptcy court can, how the bankruptcy court and the trustees can measure the debtor's credibility on anything, right?
Well, that was a question I was wondering is, like, if the debtors, like, even if the debtors deny their applications, can they still control their assets after they deny their applications?
So, again, I love my buddy Stuart because he had a lot of cases he was on, and I could look at a lot of things. And what I gathered.
Wait, let me make that lay terms for everyone. I actually forgot what I just said. Oh yeah, so
after dismissal, yeah.
Assuming that Laura and her parents' bankruptcy cases get dismissed, that means that all their assets are back on the board, so individual creditors can go after them. My question was, you know, when the case is dismissed, the typical situation is that the court is going to lose jurisdiction over anything involved in the case, meaning that while they're in bankruptcy, the court technically has control over all their accounts. But if it gets dismissed, then logic would say the court loses control of those accounts, and then it becomes like a free market free-for-all. Who can sue them first for what? So my question to Tiff is, even if they get dismissed, does the court still get to somehow have a say in what ends up happening after the dismissal?
I think through other means, yes. So, for example, what I have seen on some of the cases that Stuart was an attorney for the trustee on, because I dug into him the most. He was the one I had the most time to research. I haven't had time to research Tad yet, but so what he would do is he would file an adversarial proceeding. So like the bankruptcy case might get dismissed, but the adversary proceeding still maintains a level of control. And don't ask me how, I don't know, right? Like I don't know the how that works, how it actually functions and breaks down. But the adversary proceeding keeps the bankruptcy court just have a little bit of skin in the game, I guess, or the estate to have a some level of control, or I don't want to say power, say claim, you know, for what has been done so far. Okay, so I'm getting too far in the weeds. So like there was one case where before the debtor filed for bankruptcy, they had transferred a bunch of money to a relative. The trustee found out, obviously, because they look at stuff, Laura. I'm sorry. Sorry to disappoint you, but they will look at everything. And they found these payments. So they actually sued the recipient as an adversarial proceeding. Attached to the bankruptcy case, they sued the recipient to get that money back. So that's like a clawback. That's what they're doing. They're suing money. They're suing you for money you shouldn't have received to give it to the creditors of the debtor. who they should have paid, right? That happened to be their mother, I think, that this money was given to, and they were trying to say, well, it was a loan, but they didn't have any documentation supporting that. So along the way, the bankruptcy gets discharged, but somehow the money still got clawed back. Like the adversarial proceeding still prevailed somehow. So again, I don't know exactly.
That's where it's going to get super messy, because basically then they have to go into the estate of wherever that money came from. And if that money isn't there, then they have to claw back how that money was spent and then liquidate that to like refill the estate. It's like buckets of water, basically.
It really is. It's very complex, and I think that is part of why these heavy hitter names, so to speak, we're seeing on it, because it can get very messy very quickly, and especially when you're looking at one estate that is 2.6 million, right? And yeah, Laura's is smaller, but it's still not tiny. It's still a decent amount of money. And so again, you might have some imbalance there and whatnot. I also believe that, and maybe that's what's about to happen because this notice of appearance came in, but I think that the trustee in Laura's case, through their attorneys, can file an objection to a dismissal and keep the case going to see if they have to, are able to prove any intertwining or commingling, right?
I was biting my tongue to say this the whole time. This is Clayton's case.
Yeah.
Like, this is the exact same thing that happened. She filed the paternity action. She tried to get it dismissed. She got that part of it dismissed, but Clayton kept going on his declaration of non-paternity, and he won. Like, this is exactly the same thing. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so it's like, when are you going to learn? And I do want to say real quick, I see all the comments. My eyes are still wonky from the steroids. I do apologize. I can see that there are words on the screen. I'm catching some of it. I'm not catching all of it. And to keep my brain focused for this stream, I'm probably not going to put as many up and talk about them, just because I'm trying to keep my brain focused too. Because steroids
don't think about it too much. You're doing fine.
Yeah, and I'm responding in the chat, so don't think about it.
Oh, wonderful.
Honestly,
see,
yeah, I got you.
I do have to cut out in about 5 minutes, but I wish I didn't have to. I will put it that way.
Well, like I said, I mean, every time I say this, I feel like I'm like a little bit like Chicken Little, but it seems like these things, these little these moments have happened where it's like, oh my God, this is the biggest thing that's happened so far. And today I feel like, I mean, there's more to come, but I think this is a really good sign and a big sign of something even bigger that may be on the horizon. And I think we'll see maybe like a lot of quick activity and then a lot of dead time, but the quick activity is going to be fun stuff, I think. Because yeah, I'm wondering because you can't tell me, first of all, here's why I say this. When I say that, I wonder if he'll file an objection or something else will be filed. I'm wondering to actually pause that dismissal, because you cannot tell me that the trustee for Laura's case wasn't able to look up Ron and Jan's case and see what was going on with it before they filed this document, right?
Yeah, they would see everything, the whole docket.
Mm-hmm.
They'd probably work next to the other trustee, honestly.
Well, right, exactly. So, this was filed at 13/19. I do want to real quick. I want to go back and look at the time because that's going to bug me. I feel like they happened so fast. I was like, wait, what? We already have that. It's like, no, there's another one. So I guess it wasn't that close. 11:51, probably, I'm assuming AM, obviously. And then 2 hours, 13:19. Hour and a half. Apart. The two documents were filed. So yeah, I mean, like I said, you can't tell me they didn't know or check the docket before they filed a document. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
So this is what? And yeah, I don't, like I said, I'm kind of just soaking it all in a little bit. Because she was, like you said, she was trying to get out of it, and then she just made it worse. And then by filing the bankruptcy, and then it just got worse after that too. Like you said, it follows Clayton's case.
She wanted to get out of that like debtor's exam, right, for Clayton's case, and then by doing that, she did this, in which she's committing more like fraud.
Mhm.
So
And she
What?
can't get out of this either, it turns out.
great, okay, yeah, okay. I guess I won't do that then.
It's like getting out of a chest X-ray so that they can do a biopsy of your lung. You know?
Well, I think that she's just doing community service and telling us what not to do if you ever get into a situation where you have faked multiple pregnancies and need to declare bankruptcy. So,
Right?
some kind of a community service if you think about it.
And so, speaking of that, again, going back to Darcy and Laura, Darcy's case was filed a year before Laura. So, Laura's not as special as she likes to think.
I remember seeing that, and I know the baseball player is like not a fan favorite for a lot of people. I don't know anything about the guy.
Who
All
cares?
I know is that he was also involved in a case in the same county with the same basic type of issue, I guess.
Yes.
I think there's probably a lot more background there as far as the maybe relationship between them goes. I don't know if they actually, like, because Clayton didn't even sleep with Laura, so it's a little bit
Right.
different.
Yeah. No. There's some things are not similar. You're exactly right.
All right,
Some
guys,
of
I
them
gotta take off. Unfortunately, if I didn't have to go, I wouldn't, but I do, or I'll never finish my stuff before I go to bed. So I gotta go and read some deposition. So I'll
Alrighty. No
talk
worries.
to you soon.
Okay.
Adios.
have a good one.
Thanks for having me.
Bye,
I'll be
Lauren.
back anytime you want. So
Oh, lovely.
all right,
I'm gonna
bye.
hold you to it. All right. Bye. I don't know if I have to remove her or if she just leaves. I don't know how it works.
Hold on. Gemma, I answered a question for Gemma and then she asked me a follow-up. I just want to address it because the saddle
it?
thing I think was important.
Was this it?
Oh yeah. So Gemma was asking about like why her admission about selling the saddle was important.
Oh yeah.
And I guess we're sort of like going back to the LLC, like back to the actual debtor's exam. But what that's called is like commingling of assets. It's when you treat your stuff, the LLC stuff, like it's your stuff, and like basically for the legal protections. So as a result, the trustee can usually take the rest of the assets because they're basically saying there's no distinction between you and the farm. And so by testifying to selling the saddle on behalf of the farm, she opens the door to that commingling argument.
And I could have predicted that would be the case 2 years ago, honestly, when I saw their initial financials. I
You
was
did.
like,
You were like, this is messy.
yeah, there's no way these people are doing things on the up and up. And then, every single thing that I thought when Jan and Ron had their meeting of creditors and they hadn't filed their tax returns, and Jan's excuse was that they didn't have access to credit card statements that they needed to be able to file their tax returns. And the reason they didn't have access to those statements was because after they filed bankruptcy, those companies cut off their online access, which I can actually believe. Like, that part doesn't trip me up at all. The part that trips me up is we're talking about 2023 and 2024 income tax statements for your businesses that you definitely should have had already documented.
Like nothing could be so bad, that you can't just file your taxes.
Right.
And we're talking personal, not business, or both?
I believe it was both for at least one business. I don't know.
Oh,
Here's
you know what,
we
Tim?
can't see some of the stuff, right? So I don't know if they did submit Quartet Farms and Lizmac's tax returns. I don't know.
I've got an idea. This could be totally wrong.
Mm.
If their only income is the pension, I wonder if they have to pay taxes on the pension.
Well, they have pension and Social Security.
Yeah, but Social Security taxes
Yeah.
come out pre-distribution.
Yeah, I know. Good question.
Because I totally get if I'm short on cash and I'm self-employed, I'm just gonna take that 1099 and worry about taxes later. And I wonder how that works with the
Pension.
pension.
That's a good question.
I'm
I
looking
don't
it up.
know.
I'm gonna use my legal AI for this.
There you go. That's a good one. I think that's a good question. But they had an estimated tax owed. Hold on, let's pull that up actually while you're looking. I have that document.
Great, I'm just logging into my AI.
They had that. Hold on. Oops, wrong. Whoa.
So my prompt is going to be, if you are over the age of 65 and receiving Social Security retirement money as well as distributions from a pension that
Real quick, I'll answer this one. Mary Smith said, weren't they being sued by the credit card companies already? They would have lost access before. Yeah, so, I mean, there were like 35 credit cards, I think. There was dozens of credit cards. They were sued by at least one. I think one was about to head to court because they had attorneys hired on it. But yes, some of their cards would have been. I know that there was a Liz Max credit card, and so it would not have been, because it would have been too new. It couldn't have been open prior to 2023.
Oh, wow. I've got the answer.
Okay, well, go ahead.
Or do you want to look at the tax owed? Let's look at the tax owed first.
Okay.
Or do you not have it up yet?
No, I have it up.
Okay, go for it. Yeah, let's look at that. That way we can sort of reverse it from there.
Okay. I need to... Still not doing it right. I figured it out the last time, and now I lost it again. Okay, hold on. Where'd it go? There it is.
That's where we need Patches. She would know this already. Lickety split.
Okay, so, oops. Don't want to. So we have for 2023 and 2024 individual taxes estimated, because they're estimated because we don't, you got to file to get your actual amount. They're estimated at owing $2,032.
Okay. So then the pension distributions are $2,000, right? $20,000 a year.
21, yeah, 21-ish.
So that then the next part of this, before we go ahead and do math, because I hate math, but
yeah,
my question was, if you are receiving distributions from a pension program that's typical to corporate America, would you pay federal taxes on the pension distributions? The answer is yes. Most traditional corporate pension distributions are taxable at the federal level as ordinary income, regardless of age or receiving Social Security. Your age does not exempt pension income from federal tax, though being over 65 may increase your standard deduction. So,
okay.
Yeah, I guess they would have to owe more than their standard deduction in taxes. But given how large the pension is, that makes sense. And since this is legal AI, it goes on to say, you will receive a 1099-R each year showing the gross distribution and the taxable amount of your pension distributions. You can elect federal withholdings using a W-4P. So that you don't end up under withholding. So I think my thought still makes sense.
I agree.
So wow, thank you. That's actually a huge compliment coming from you. 21,000. Now let's do the math.
Yep. While you're doing the math, I want to look at something real quick
Okay.
because I hate math. And I'm going to make you do it.
Yeah, fair. I'd turn on an extra screen for this chat.
Okay.
Maybe I can I present?
Okay. Da-da-da.
Okay. So if you want to let me present, I've got the calculator up.
Yep. Let me here, let's remove this. And then how do I feel like we did. Okay, stop screen. How do I let you? I think do you have to wait.
And then I'm gonna do it again, and then you can grant me access. Okay.
Oh, you have to do it and then I have to say okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well that's dumb. Add.
There
Is
you
that
go.
it? Okay.
Yep. Okay, so basically we have 2,000 and change estimated in tax, and now we want to figure out what their tax would be on their pension. So we start with 21,000 a year, and we'll do it by
A month.
a month, right?
Because
that would be it would be.
21,000 is actually normal pension amount a year, but anyway.
So they make 252,000, and so let's give them a tax rate of 30%, just to be generous. So that gives them 0.7. So they would make 176 is what they would make before tax or after taxes. So we'll minus that from 2520. Oh shit, I fucked that up. 176. Let's go. Well, all right, we're just gonna have to live with some bad math here, guys.
It's fine. We know what it means.
Minus 251, we'll call it 000. Okay, so they would owe $74,000 in taxes. Now we're gonna look up the standard deduction. What is the standard deduction for a 65-year-old married couple? Is 34,700. So 34,700. So why would because it was a minus. Okay, 74852. Hold on one sec, guys. 74852 minus.
I love that it keeps the numbers for you on the side too.
4700. So it leaves them owing $40,000 in taxes if they don't withhold that, which makes sense because their pension is so dang high. So
Right.
if they haven't paid any taxes on their pension after taking the standard deduction, they still owe Uncle Sam $40K.
This is interesting to me because in the trustee's recommendation, where he listed all the things that they still had to do in order to be able to even if we're gonna let you proceed, you still have to do all these things first. It specifically calls out that the trustee wants to see a completed and signed copy of the debtor's 2024 state and federal tax W-2s and 1099s, and that the trustee informs the debtors that should these returns reveal significant tax refunds, if allowed to continue, this would constitute a diversion of disposable income. And in that case, unless the plan is confirmed, 100% repayment to all of the creditors, the trustee would require the debtor to adjust payroll tax deductions. So that made me wonder, are they over contributing? Are their deductions higher than they should be. And is that one way that they are foolishly, but still trying to divert money and hold money back, right? Because again, that statement says about $2,000. And that statement would take into account anything they had paid. And again, that's just state income tax. So I'm interested is all. It takes a while for the federal government to file that same kind of, like, file a lien for unpaid taxes. I mean, they will file it, but it takes a little bit longer. So,
Oh, they'll file a lien on this?
like, if you don't pay your federal income taxes,
Mhm.
yeah.
So you're saying that there may be more taxes than this owed because there's also state taxes.
Well, that's what the claim was for in the bankruptcy case. It was for state taxes. So
Oh,
the
so
federal government doesn't start looking at your taxes, your income tax filing. I guess from a red tape standpoint, really, they don't look into pursuing you for not filing until about like a year or two later, right? They don't come down on you right away.
right, or ever,
Okay.
depending on the backlog.
Yeah, exactly. So it takes a minute for them to catch up. It is interesting though that they didn't file a claim, so maybe they don't owe federal taxes. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, I guess you could pick and choose.
But again, maybe they don't owe federal taxes because again, maybe they're overinflating their deductions. Because
Wow. Well, in Arizona,
which is
pension.
crazy
Wait, say it
because
again?
so here's why that's crazy. If you're overpaying the federal government, you're like on your, like when you fill out your W-4, right? And you make it so you're overpaying your income taxes and you have a surplus at the end of the year. When they think you haven't filed and you owe them money, they will do your taxes in a worst case scenario format. So they'll maximize how much they think they're supposed to get, right? And then you have to file your deductions and even your standard exemptions, everything. You have to say, no, actually, you think I owe you $5,000, but because I get all these exemptions and standard deductions, I only owe you $500. So it's crazy if the federal government.
Oh my God, we figured it out. The income tax rate in Arizona is 2.5%. Look what happens when you multiply their pension income by 2.5%.
Oh my God.
It's the exact same fucking number. Bro, we did it.
Yeah.
Wait, am I right? Am I wrong?
No, I think you're right.
Did you have the tax document open?
Oh,
How
yeah,
much
no,
is
hold on.
Yeah. Arizona paying?
Oh, $2,032.
So they haven't been able to pay it all.
Yeah. But again, if they're taking some out, they're going to give you your worst case.
Yeah.
And then it shakes out after you file your actual tax return. Because your tax return is basically claiming all your exemptions. That's what you're doing. So what I'm saying is you could overpay the federal government and have it sit there. And they're not going to say they have a claim.
Right.
Because you haven't filed, because they have your money.
Yeah.
And they think you owe them less than they have.
So there's a world where they could file their federal taxes, get a return, and use that to pay off their state taxes.
Yeah.
But the thing I thought I discovered was if they had paid their federal taxes, which I think we had just sort of assumed was happening, but the state was coming after them. What would the state be coming after them for? So I multiply the pension income 252 by how much the state charges in income tax, which pensions qualify as. So the state charges would charge them $6,300 to for their pensions.
So take out, I'll bet you, hold on, their Social Security is probably not taxed at the state level.
It's not. I checked.
So that would be, I think, what is it, like $4,000 or $5,000 less a month?
Well, the 252 would only count as their pension income.
You only did their pension.
Yeah, I didn't do the Social Security. Yeah, they make 21,000 through the pension.
That 21,000 includes their Social Security.
Oh, what is it without the Social Security?
I'm looking. Hold on. I'm
Sweet.
looking. I've got it on this other.
Don't go away, folks.
Yeah, let me grab my calculator and see. 15,416
Is how much Social Security accounts
No,
for?
that's without.
Oh,
So that's was
15,000
pension. Oh, I'm
more.
sorry. You wanted Social Security. Duh.
No, I want a pension. 15,000.
Oh yeah, 15,416. Yep.
Okay. Times 12.
Isn't
Yeah,
this
and this
an
is back of the
exciting story watching
napkin.
us do math?
Times 0.025. So that would be the taxes they owe on the pension, which is they make $15,416 a month on the pension times 12
Mhm.
months. So they make 184,000, almost 185,000 on the pension. And then they would owe 2.5% income tax on that, which at the state level, which would
Yeah.
equal 4,624. So it's still
know.
below what they owe. So it still is definitely possible that they've just paid some of it, but not all of it. And
All
they
of
just
it.
don't have the money to pay the rest of it.
Right.
Or the question is, would they rather be not spending that money to file their taxes and instead, getting Barry's boot camp?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
In which case, like, that's the bar to bankruptcy, is like you have to come with at least something.
You weren't on the stream with me, but this just made me think of it, and I have to giggle again. So in Ron and Jan's bankruptcy, they estimated their food and housekeeping supplies as being $900 a month. And in Laura's bankruptcy, she estimated the same category as being $1,800 a month.
Oh my God, really?
And I don't know if you've ever seen that clip of Mariah Carey where she doesn't understand that people in the United States pay for electricity.
Yes, I did. Yes, I've seen that.
But it's adorable, first of all, because I mean, she wouldn't know, but it just reminds me of Laura thinking things cost $1,800 when they don't. I'm sorry.
I mean, she probably does not know how much like some things cost. I mean, clearly not the cost of a horse, although that's the one thing I thought she would know the cost of.
Oh yeah, I know. That was interesting to not know like how much, I mean, she just sold a horse. Like months ago.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the rabbit hole we're going to have to go down, is if Quartet Farms owns horses and they've sold horses in the last 2 years, is Tad going to claw back those sales? And
Tad's going to sue the entire horse equestrian world. And she's going to be so embarrassed.
And there's no getting off the train.
No, there's not, because you've opened the door. Like the spiders are everywhere. You can't get them back in the can. And so it's regardless of if this gets officially dismissed and the bankruptcy goes away, this has jumped off an investigation that I don't see being unwound. I don't see it just going away. I don't see how it can. Because here's the thing. Like, I mean, in all honesty, Ron and Jan's creditors should be filing objections to these dismissals, really, because I think the bankruptcy court has more power to be able to help them collect their money than they would. Because I think, like, so here's what would happen if, let's say, Ron and Jan's case gets dismissed and it never gets converted or anything. What'll happen is the foreclosure proceeding will start. It happens very quick in Arizona. They'll have 6 months about. I mean, they can be given longer, but that's statutorily it's 6 months with notice time and sale time. There is no redemption period. I've discussed this. There is no redemption period in Arizona. So once the sale happens, they
People were
can't.
wanting to hear about this, by the way. People wanted to know, like, how quickly will this all happen?
Yeah, it's about 6 months. They have to send out, like, so the whole thing, our entire legal system is based on notice, right? Notice has to be provided and timelines. So they have to give notice in a certain timeline prior to the sale happening. And then they schedule the sale, or I should say, they have to give notice to say the sale is going to be scheduled. Then they have to schedule the sale. And all of those timelines equal about 6 months, it's like 10 days shy of 6 months, where the day the sale happens, the next day, you're not the owner anymore. You don't have a chance to buy back the deed. It's bye-bye. Like in Michigan, we have a redemption period. It's 6 to 12 months, depending on some factors. But in Arizona, that's not a thing. It's gone. So yeah, right
And
around
that was
July.
sort of my thinking, like, why maybe she was traveling, because her sister is probably pressed.
Yeah, I would be too. And I know the theories keep coming up about Ron and life insurance. I don't buy it. I think Ron's, much more valuable alive. I don't think his life is in danger. I think he's fine. He'll be okay. I don't 21,000. I mean, okay, let's just look at Ron's alone. I think it's 16,000. It's a chunk of their income is Ron's. They're not bright people, don't get me wrong, but they are bright enough to know that that's a lot of money to lose every month. And even if Jan gets some sort of stipend from his pension, it won't be the full pension, right? And she'll get maybe some spousal benefits from his Social Security, but it won't be a whole lot. So I don't think a life insurance policy is the end game.
No, I think it's absolutely, I think what anyone, probably any human being, wants that to always be a last resort.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you don't want to have to. And it doesn't solve their problems anyway, to be honest. It doesn't solve their problems. It really doesn't. It buys them more time the same way home equities did and whatnot, but it doesn't solve what they've got going on because they have significant financial issues here. 2.6 million. And I promise he's not insured for 2.6 million. Not at his age, not in his health. I just don't believe it. So, and I think he does look healthy. Thank you. First of all, shout out to Susan Dippity. But the comment is, I agree about Ron's health. He looks way too healthy for a geriatric, allegedly numerous chronic fatal health issues. Yeah, I think Ron does look healthy to me. Honestly, he looks like a typical 80-year-old to me. He seems to function like a typical 80-year-old to me. I don't have any concerns about that. I know everything is dramatized in that universe, right? But I don't think that's the case. And I hope I'm right. I hope he is very healthy and I hope he lives a long time. But I also I don't know. I just don't dig the whole talking about that being anything. If it happens, it happens. Us talking about it and predicting it doesn't enhance it, the story in any way. It doesn't add to the story. It's I don't like it. I just don't like it. The same way I don't like talking about her looks and stuff. I just don't. That's not my vibe. But I don't think that. I don't know. I do think that she is dangerous in a certain way. I think it's concerning. I think it needs to be, adjudicated. But I think that will play out. And I think, again, I don't want to harp on it too much, but I really think this document is amazing. This filing, this notice of appearance in an unrelated case, technically, right? I mean, they're not
not anything anyone even asked for.
Hmm?
Not anything anyone asked for.
No. I mean, it's oh, here, I can answer this question. What year did they move to Arizona? Oh, California made the change to ordinary income in 2018, and the 13.3 is the top rate. So they moved in 2021. They actually started, I think they technically signed their purchase agreement at the end of 2020, but they closed in January of 2021. So I don't know exactly what that means as far as ordinary income. I'm guessing that's a tax change that happened. So yeah, maybe that would have affected them. Again, I say this a lot. You're welcome. I think if they would have just reset in Arizona and not kept borrowing like they did, they would have been fine. It would have been fine. Yeah, and so that's the big thing. So Gemma says, I'm curious how much of the money got intertwined with Quartet and how long it's been going on. First of all, a lot of it, I think. Second of all,
Forever and always.
Right. Exactly. Forever and always.
I mean, and it's honestly excusable. Like most people, the guy who owns the corner shop on this market and goes to Costco and buys a 20-pack of water and then sells it at his Costco shop, or at his corner store. He's treating those businesses the same. The problem is when you start violating the rules related to those businesses. It's always a risk to run your business that way. You should not run your business as if it's just an in name only. But
it defeats the whole purpose of an LLC. Right?
Yeah, you don't get any of the benefits associated with it. What if, in my example about the corner store, you would open a Costco card under the name of the LLC, and then you would take the expense of the water bottles and you would deduct that from your profits or losses at the end of the year, and thereby insulate yourself from any of those issues. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so we can see from the bankruptcy, from Ron and Jan's bankruptcy, to prove my point. I will show you this. Let me find it real quick. The Liz Max credit card. Hold on. Where'd it go? Go back. Oh, I don't know why I can't go back. I have too many things open. Bear with me. The Liz Max credit card was already, so Liz Max was formed in, I want to say May of 23, early May or March of 23. I can't remember the exact date now, but somebody's going to come on. One of my wonderful ATB besties is going to come on and tell me. But so it's pretty new business is my point, and really shouldn't have had a lot of expense related to it, in my opinion.
They bought something with it though.
Oh,
So
sure.
so that's why I was like, there had to be funds deposited in that. And so that's, I think, the shell game that we don't have insight into is what got deposited into what businesses, because if it was even there for a blip of a moment, it was a business asset.
Yep. Exactly. Oh, since while I'm looking for this, we'll talk about it. The the mystery investor for the Airbnb, for the Clayton purchases, right? Her money market account that supposedly existed and supposedly had investor money deposited into. She's not real clear on her answers, first of all, and I think that was intentional. Well, I know it was intentional, but I also think it was intentional that Marcus let that part go, because I think it's just the whole point of it was to.
It's provably false too, because of the declarations.
Yeah, clearly, and I think it was just to get it
LizMax was created May 9th of 2023. Thank you, Hay Bales.
I told you. It's my girls. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I lost which one it is. I thought it was 27,000. There's so many Bank of America ones. Bear with me. They have so many Bank of America credit cards that I'm trying. Oh, was it Bank of America actually? No, it was.
Mary is asking if they have business cards. Honestly, Mary, I do not know finance well enough to be able to tell you if both are listed in the application for bankruptcy.
We know that they have one in the name of LizMax. We know that because it was included in a claim, a bankruptcy claim. Jeez, oh Pete.
Jen says she was just right behind Hay Bales. That's what's up.
Oh, maybe I can find it here actually.
You guys are incredible, honestly.
I don't know why I didn't just go to the freaking Padlet.
Someone on Reddit was like, oh, I was like looking at my JFC folder on my camera. I was like, oh, such a good idea.
Right.
Why didn't I think of that 20 million screenshots ago?
I swear to God.
Over here scrolling like an idiot.
It's wild when you're like, oh, this stuff is so organized. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now, let's see here. I think I can.
And then Tiff, I'm going to say good night to you in the chat at 9:30 Eastern.
Okay. Yep. We're not going to hang on for too much longer. Okay.
Well, I think we've got some. I mean, I personally think that they're not filing. They're going to get their case dismissed unless they pay their income taxes, which it seems to be the thing that they owe, and what they're hiding is that they owe their state income taxes. But also, it doesn't seem like a good enough reason to not pay it unless you like truly do not have it. And the answer could be, the Mark well is dried up, and even Mark used to break her off with 5,000 here, 6,000 there, and he may not be willing to do that for any amount of money anymore, given what she's trying to do.
Oh, for sure. Well, and especially now, like it's gotten nasty, right?
Well, that was the big fuck up on her part. She thought that she was going to be able to get her little lawsuit done before she filed for bankruptcy, but then bankruptcy came up quick on her.
Yeah, exactly. So why can't I scroll? I'm trying to. I know that the Padlet moves this way, like to left and right, and for some reason it's not letting me scroll. Oh, maybe because I'm sharing. Hold on. Let's try that. Let's see if that mattered. It did not matter. I don't normally look. Okay, hold on. I know this claim is in here. Bear with me. Part of my problem is I'm going too fast. So let's just slow down. It definitely was Bank of America, right? And it was.
Ms. Wings asked if they have monthly payments they miss, and if you're talking about their Chapter 13 application, they have missed every monthly payment.
Yeah, I would be surprised if the trustees report got filed and they happen to make another payment, in the interim. I just don't. I don't see that being the case.
Yeah, that's like throwing gasoline on not the gasoline on a fire, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's throwing money into the wind, really. I mean, it's just.
So let me ask you this then. What would you do now? You're in this shit situation. Other than buy a bunch of Costco hot dogs, what would you do?
Well, I would work. I did find what I was looking for, and I'm going to share real quick. I would.
Okay, I still want to hear this.
I'd contact. Well, okay, it depends on what my end goal was. If my end game was to try to keep my house, I would, immediately be talking to my lender, my first mortgage lender, because the second mortgage lender, you can work with them and whatever. I mean, but they're kind of just stuck in a position for a while. So, I would work with them to see if there were any programs I was eligible for. There's probably not, to be honest, but they can try and, work on a modification so that they can basically do the same thing that they would have achieved through the Chapter 13, but directly with the mortgage company, right? Like we're going to pay, let's say, I think their payment is like 14,000 a month, but we're going to pay 16,000 a month for however many months, years to get caught up on that past due balance, right? So that's if I'm going to keep my house, that's the case. If
Yeah.
I'm not keeping my house, I'd probably still communicate with my lender and let them know my intention to vacate, because
Interesting.
they can still come after you for the difference. They probably won't, but
Don't
they
want to
can
make
make
it a
life
pain in the
difficult
butt
for
for
you
them,
while you're
basically.
trying to move out, right? So it's better to work with them and tell them and communicate with them what you're doing if you are leaving, which I think they should. I think they should. I don't think they
And
should stay in a house they can't afford.
and the main reason I ask you this is because Laura's manifesto made some pretty serious legal accusations, not against you or me or anyone specific, but
Mhm.
I'm asking you this because I want to highlight the fact that at the end of the day, we do want them to do the right thing. We do not
Yeah.
wish them any ill will in any way, shape, or form. And I think Tiff giving out, great analysis of a really unfortunate situation,
Mhm.
shows that there is nothing here but just a simple dissection of publicly available information.
Here's the thing with their financial situation that they're in right now, as bad as it is not impossible to climb out of it.
That's
It's
really
just
good
not.
to know. That's really good to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I mean, people get in bad situations all the time. And so I know I get on here and I, make jokes and whatever, but I'm not trying to make fun of anybody for getting into a situation, because I'm 51 years old. I've been in a situation before, sure. Having raised kids, stuff happens, life happens, and things, seem impossible to overcome. And they're not. They're not impossible. You can overcome it. And again, I don't know how much of their pension income is collectible in a court case.
Yeah,
So like
curious.
those credit cards, probably a lot of them will just get written off, and over time that goes away. And it takes a while. Don't get me wrong, but those drop off, right?
Even without bankruptcy?
Yeah. Like, so let's say you're not collectible. Let's say you're judgment proof, right? Because your income is the kind that can't be touched. I don't know if it is. I don't know how pension works, but if it is,
Yeah.
there's nothing they can do about it. There's
I'm
nothing
pretty
those
sure
creditors can do
pension, I
about it.
looked it up yesterday, and pension is judgment proof.
Yeah. I know Social Security is. So,
Right.
but you can't commingle. Okay. Let's be clear. You can't commingle if you're going to do that, because it becomes the judgment proof part of it goes away. Like it becomes, I don't know what the right term is. Oh, hold on. My husband's asking me if I want something from Burger King, and I do.
Okay.
Don't you guys love watching these streams? A Whopper meal, please.
Yeah, I think the first thing that it all comes to mind though is like it requires candor. Like you said, you have to talk to your lender. You have to give them like notice that you're gonna vacate. It's like starting to basically come to terms with your own issues and being honest about and transparent about them, which I think may be a real big challenge. And that's like the only thing I'll say about the manifesto is like that there's a lot of self-reflection that doesn't seem to have occurred in terms of like their own contribution to the situation.
Well, and I think you're right on with that, because you can't. I mean, you know what? To be honest, you can go ahead and blame the online smear campaign if you're talking to a JP Morgan customer service representative and you're trying to make a payment plan. I don't care, right? Like whatever gets them to get you to a place where you can make yourself right, or as right as you can be with these lenders, so that they don't hound you, because it would be a full-time job keeping them away. Do what you can and talk to them and give them your sob story. For crying out loud, they loaned you money when they maybe should have looked twice. So I'm not always super sympathetic with lenders on this situation. So
Yeah,
keep that
fair.
in mind. Keep that in mind.
I love it.
Because
That's one thing I love the most about you.
it's a risk analysis, right? I mean, you took the risk.
I will never
So
forget you're talking about you remove the sticky note every time.
yeah, exactly. So the thing is, you can make it better. You can do the work. It will take work. I don't think it should be publicly blaming all of us because I don't think we're the reason. And I think you really need to look at why this happened to you and what you did to contribute to it, even if you don't think you caused it. Because if you don't, it will repeat itself.
Oh yeah.
It won't
That-
stop. It'll
that's the
happen
moral of
again.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Oh, I'm sorry. I totally derailed you on what you wanted to show us.
no, it's fine because I mean it was maybe sort of relevant, but I think that was an excellent question, and I'm glad you brought it up because yes, I do want them to do better. I really do, and I think it's possible, and I think that's the most frustrating part of watching them spiral is that I know it's possible, and I'll go off one more sidetrack real quick. A lot of people who get in a situation like this will shut down. It's very natural to not want to deal with it or not
yeah.
know how and not try to figure it
Disassociate.
out. Yeah, executive dysfunction happens. So but you can't do that. You have to tackle it, right? And a good example is I had somebody reach out to me and ask me, what should I do? Because, I've been out of work for a while and I kind of don't know, like maybe, I'm not going to have much luck in finding a job real soon. And I have a mortgage and I'm kind of worried. And I said, reach out to your lender immediately and tell them what's going on. And they will let you know if there are plans and programs that you're eligible for. And that person did that and they followed up with me and told me that it worked. So that made me, people don't think you got to talk to the people that you owe money to, man. You got to talk to them. It sucks. I know it does, but you'll feel so much better when you actually did something for yourself and
when you can see that path, when you're like, oh, there is light at the end of this tunnel, because I've been there where there's like, where is the light?
Yeah. And the accomplishment you feel from that is almost better than if you had never been in the situation, right? And never had to deal with it and just like nothing ever happened in your life and everything was hunky-dory all the time. The accomplishment of the feeling of coming out of something like that and addressing it and handling it, even when it was difficult, is like just so much better. It feels so better to take care of something and have it work out. I don't know. So that's
I as long as they learn their lesson, I definitely wish them that path. Yeah,
I do too. I really do. I really do worry that they're not ready to look that inside way yet. But I hope they do. So much. I just do. So anyway, I'm going to show this screen real quick here, and then we'll probably jump off after this. But so the Liz Max credit card was Bank of America. First of all, I was right about that. And we're talking about a fairly new account that as of July of 25, so less than 24 months after it had been opened, had a balance of $27,000. And think about that. That's more than she owes on her car. That's a lot of money. Yeah. And I don't know how. So let's actually do the math real quick since we're mathing tonight. So $27,000 divided by, let's say, 22 months. That's $1,227 a month that you're spending, apparently, on your Airbnb. That you're losing money.
But the Airbnb is also seller financed, so some of that is probably getting paid through to the mortgage.
Yeah, it's their payment on it was, I think, $4,062 plus taxes and insurance, but I don't know what the taxes and insurance amount was. I guesstimated about $1,200, but it could
probably getting paid from a different account then.
Yeah, I don't think it was getting paid from this, but I'm saying like your expense, if you count this as an expense for your
Right,
business,
like pool heating, new
yeah,
floaties.
yeah, plus your $4,000, plus your taxes and insurance,
Most
plus
people's
whatever
rent.
fees you pay to your Airbnb property manager, right?
Yeah.
Like
That's more than most people's rent
yeah,
in
I know.
expenses.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's interesting. I don't know if
I
this was
guess
the
you could
one.
give them a little bit of grace for maybe like startup costs, like they had to buy like 5 bunk beds or something.
No, you can actually, and here's why. The furniture in that house it came furnished, and it was leveraged by the seller's mortgage company. It had an assignment of rents and leases on it, which means that all of the furniture, the furnishings, the fixtures, everything was secured by the lender's mortgage.
Oh,
It
so it was like a
cannot be
rooms to
removed.
go?
Hmm?
It was like a rooms to go, like they
No, it was like this happens a lot in commercial deals where like when you have income property, if there's anything in that property that the lender would need to recoup a loss above the mortgage balance, right? They can take those items like furniture, fixtures.
so it wasn't even theirs.
Hmm. They won't, yeah,
Oh,
the
so this
furniture
is
wasn't
just
even theirs.
pure bullshit.
Yeah, yeah, it was absolute. So we
Then
can't even say it had. I mean, and to their credit, the smartest thing they did was not put furniture in that house because it would have been not theirs after it wasn't put into the house.
so $1,200 a month on an Airbnb with no startup costs.
Hmm.
That's just a bad investment.
Yeah,
In
and
Arizona anyway. I think,
oh,
$1,200.
Scottsdale.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went back up for sale. So it had been listed for a while by her, I'm pretty sure, and it went back up for sale after the forfeiture went through. At the beginning of this month, it went back up for sale for the same price that she bought it for, $795. So it
So
had been
will the
overpriced the
trustee
whole time.
be able to see like itemized transactions for this?
No, and so we get good stuff out of these when they file a claim. We get to see a lot of good stuff, but we don't see the itemized stuff. And on these ones that are commercial, they don't even tell us. Like on the personal ones, it'll tell us the last time. I can show you one. It'll tell us like the last time a hold on, I did that wrong again. Hello, surprise. I won't take too long doing this. The last time a payment was made, the last time a transaction happened, etc. Like it tells us all that stuff on the personal credit cards. But the two that were filed for in the bankruptcy, they didn't have that. So let's just here. I think this Macy's card might do it for me if I can show you.
They better had some like Aesop shampoo and body wash in that place or some cozy earth linens.
Well, it was one of the smaller ones, and this is very tiny. Sorry. So let's see if I can upsize this. Okay. So like on this, it'll tell you the open date 2/1 of 1976, by the way. The last payment date was June of 2025. Then it was charged off in September after bankruptcy, of course.
Right.
And the last transaction, which could also be the last payment date, that's very irritating to me about this document. Every time I see it, it's typically the last payment date is the same as the last transaction date. Some of the banks will say, like they'll actually tell you the last purchase was made, but some of them are just the same as the last payment date because it's counted as a transaction. But yeah, so like on the personal ones, it'll do it. But for some reason, I guess the commercial accounts are exempt from that.
Oh,
So yeah, this is from the $478 they owed to me.
probably exempt until the corporate veil gets pierced.
Right.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
I think we're all about to we've already had I feel like classes 100 through 500 of restraining orders, and now it's going to be classes 100 through 500 of bankruptcy because this is so convoluted.
It really is. And So Ronnie says private seller finances usually roll property tax and insurance into the monthly payment. Maybe, but this one didn't. I've read the contract, and it was $4,062 and I think 93 cents a month or 95 cents a month, plus taxes and insurance. So they didn't line item it out because it changes, and it's common. It changes, so they don't call out the exact number. My guesstimate, knowing nothing about Arizona homeowners insurance, is that their monthly taxes and insurance could have been about $1,200 a month. I don't know. That's an absolute guess. But on a $800,000 property, I'm just spitballing. So,
So
Yeah.
basically, they have to pay their business and personal taxes by the 18th.
Well, by the that's done. That like they already failed at that.
Oh, oh,
I mean, they have to do it anyway, but basically the bankruptcy trustee has already said you didn't do what you were supposed to do, so we give up on you.
so I guess the next thing to be on the lookout for would be if an adversarial proceeding gets filed in their cases by the trustees' representation.
That's what I think may happen. I don't know. I really don't. But that's what I think may happen. Because and so let's talk about that for one quick second. Because yes, if the bankruptcy gets dismissed, the stay, the pause on foreclosure and stuff like that goes away, and actions can go forward. But let's say that this attorney comes in and says, we don't want this case dismissed because we think there's more at play here. Whatever reasons they give, it doesn't matter. The mortgage company can still come in and say, hey, we understand you have all that going on over there, but we need to secure our asset and we want the stay lifted so that we can proceed with foreclosure. And that is absolutely allowed to happen. Especially if the case isn't going to result in an actual discharge or a solid Chapter 13 plan. It can happen. So,
And what do they file? Do you know?
they'll file a request for relief from stay.
Oh,
Yeah, and it basically will say that the borrower isn't doing anything to actually make our debt whole or follow any kind of plan or create a viable plan or do anything to actually, pay us back the money they owe us. So they can say, we want to sell the asset, and that can be approved. So,
it can almost like short circuit foreclosure.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I mean, it's
David Gingras, you beautiful idiot.
I know, right? Exactly. Like, he's so. What a little. Ugh. I don't know. Oh, welcome. Oh, hello. Welcome back, Bruce. What can the debtors do to get the money? I don't know what that means. You mean creditors? Yeah, that's what they can do. They can request a lift from stay, a relief from stay, excuse me, and allow the foreclosure, and the one lawsuit can, they can request the same thing. That happens like in a repossessions. They'll ask for repossession things, to go forward. So Chapter 13 has these like protections inside of it, right? But you have to actually do the things that Chapter 13 requires you to do in order to benefit from those protections.
I'm reading it right here. It says the bankruptcy court actually has discretion to retain jurisdiction after dismissal over adversarial proceedings.
Yeah.
The trustee's ability to proceed depends on the court's determination of whether or not it's okay to retain jurisdiction, and the threshold level to be able to retain jurisdiction is good cause appearing, which is
I think we've met that threshold. I think we've met it. Yeah.
It's actually not even good cause, it's for cause, so it's even lower than good cause.
Oh wow. Yeah, because it's again, when you like step back for a second, because when I was reading the whole thing about the merging the cases, right? It was like, it's really rare, and but it literally said it rarely happens, and only in cases where, and it literally laid out exactly what's happening here, where two people's separate debtors' finances are so intertwined that you have to combine it in order to protect all the creditors of both parties.
And given that Tad is, the guy who got double wides removed from the homestead, this could be another situation where the federal courts are, or at least Maricopa County is seeing a lot of situations where failures to launch and their parents are filing bankruptcy at the same time, and they're just sick of dealing with them as separate entities.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the hard fact of the matter is whether or not it's combined doesn't really matter.
No, I agree.
Their cases can continue independent of one another and have access to the same assets.
Yeah.
But if they're trying to make, like, Laura keeps making new law. I will applaud her for that. She says she's making new law, but she is.
Really quickly, I will end on this because this is a horrible review, but it really made me like him so much more.
Okay, I want to see it.
So I'll read it real quick. This is a review of Terry Dake. Unprofessional and inconsiderate. Terry was the attorney for the trustee in my personal Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Simply put, Terry's tenacity to find assets we did not have made our lives miserable for the better part of a year. I found it necessary to file for bankruptcy as the result of my daughter, who was born very ill. We were and still are battling a plethora of health and behavioral symptoms in her. Unnecessary information. Terry continuously demanded unnecessary explanations and documentation above and beyond that required by law. His request became so inappropriate that I nearly felt compelled to seek counsel for harassment. Ultimately, his feverish hunt for assets was completely in vain. His only accomplishments were wasting his time and our precious sanity. Okay. If I didn't know better, you know who I'd think wrote that? Like,
yeah.
First of all, I'm sorry your child's sick. I really am. I absolutely am. But anybody, I know, so I'm chronically ill. People know this. Anybody who's chronically ill or is a caregiver of somebody who's chronically ill rarely calls it out as much as people who aren't. I mean, I have friends who are dying and they don't call it out as much as people I've seen who aren't. And so when I see it, and it's maybe wrong, but I automatically don't believe it. Or I shouldn't say don't believe it. I question it. And I don't think it belongs in a review of a trustee attorney. So, sorry.
And is this on his website?
This made me like,
Is his website or just like
no, it's on AVO. It's just a review of him on AVO, and it's literally like 10 years old. But
I actually think it's a kind of an endorsement.
Right. It's definitely an endorsement for a trustee attorney because that's what they're supposed to do. And again, they shouldn't be taking personal information at like that much. Like it's not great if you're really sick and things are happening, but like that doesn't affect the application of the law, to my knowledge. So I don't know what it changes, and I don't think it's necessary information in a review, and it made me, I didn't like it.
Well, I think it goes back to what you said before when you were giving advice or just giving your thoughts was, in that situation, you have to go to the hospital and say, like, this is my situation. I have these debts. I need to make these payments. Like, what can we do? Or, like you said, eventually they'll write them off. So, like, that, I feel like maybe it was missing from that context.
Oh yeah, there's definitely information missing, right? It's definitely information missing because
before I let you go though, when will the order get signed? Do we know the answer to that?
We don't know. There's a thing in there about 10 days, but it really has to do with like how long they have to argue about fees. So I don't know.
Well,
I
then
don't
the
think it would be
adversarial
that long.
proceeding would have to be filed before that.
Well, I don't think it would be very long. So I do think it's interesting because all the other orders that came over the same way were signed pretty quickly. So it does make me think something's happening in the background. Like it just leads more to my conspiracy theory that something's happening in the background.
Yeah, this is a buckle up moment for this case today.
Yeah. Again, I was actually like shaking a little bit, like, oh my God, it's happening. Because wow.
And I agree with what Chad said about joining the calls. Just stay muted.
Yes, stay muted. Because we don't want to get kicked out, first of all, because like not behaving properly is going to be the first way that they close those sessions, because they are supposed to be public, but they don't have to be, and they can make arguments for them not to be, and it is discretionary. So we're very thankful that we can be included on those calls, and we don't want to lose that privilege at all, right? Like,
And in case it's helpful to anyone, whenever I join a legal meeting without being an attorney or representing anyone, I just join and I call myself observer. So,
yes,
if that's
that's
what you'd
what
like to do, that's what I do.
yeah. It's absolutely appropriate and professional, and how we would want the justice community, in my opinion, to be perceived as we're just
Oh
here to
no, I
watch
just had
and make
another
sure.
crazy thought.
What's
There's
that?
no reason for them not to be able to comply with paying those federal and state taxes, given the GoFundMe. What
Yeah.
is going to happen with the
Yeah.
GoFundMe? We
Yeah,
got to
I
get
mean,
your thoughts on that, Tiff, before we leave.
I am so like, the GoFundMe is such a wicked, I don't know.
No one has mentioned it anywhere. How is that a thing?
I don't get it. I don't get it. There are theories that maybe it's not income. It's not. There's no way it can't be. Like, otherwise, okay. I can also see that it is probably the natural progression of how a case might come to fruition if you're dealing with a medical situation, right? And that's what made you bankrupt. And you try to avoid bankruptcy by doing a GoFundMe, right?
Okay.
But
Yes.
then you would have proof that you had paid down your accounts, right?
Right. And they have no medical debt.
I'm telling you. And there are a lot of those credit card accounts that the last payments made on those accounts were in November of 24. So
it really is going to hinge on
Before
what
the
account that money went into. Because if that went into something that the trustee is capable of clawing back,
yeah,
that might be. I've been thinking the whole time the trustee may be trying to claw back the inheritance or the payment from Lizmax, but it may be
Yeah.
the GoFundMe.
mm-hmm.
Because where did that money go?
They have all those.
I just said, where did the money go? You're totally right. Their application said nothing about medical debt. So where did that money go?
Yeah. And like I said, a lot of their cards and stuff, so that if they paid it on cards, well, a lot of those cards were charged off before the GoFundMe even started. So and why wouldn't you explain it?
From big business, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Give me that money back.
Why wouldn't you explain it that way? Like, here's what happened, and here's what we tried to do. Here's what we tried to avoid this. I don't understand why you wouldn't explain it that way, other than it is maybe preferential treatment. But if it wasn't your intention to file bankruptcy, you could argue that you can't prove that I knew I was going to file bankruptcy anyway, and I only paid my medical debt. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. It's somewhere. Again, if they don't learn a lesson, they'll blow through it very fast. But if something happened to it,
yeah, that's such a weird argument to make. But I mean,
but there's so many avenues for them to pursue, like you said, the inheritance, the GoFundMe, who paid Colstrud, the list goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Clawback City, maybe. Clawback City.
Well, thank you for dumbing this all down for us. I think I can speak for everyone when I say we were definitely waiting for your takes on this.
Yeah, I know. I felt so bad because like every time I would be like, oh, I can probably do one tonight. But it's like at the end of the night, it's like, oh, it's so hard to breathe. And I knew I would want to talk a lot. So I'm like, I just can't. I want to talk. I would just chat with everybody because just couldn't. But yeah. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you for joining me. Everybody loves when you're here. They were so excited. So we'll do another one and we'll go over some of the other stuff. But this was a good day.
This was a great day. I really appreciated that we got Lauren on here and I got to chat with y'all. And
Yes.
I enjoy being on here too. I'm still digesting the manifesto and how it makes me feel as a person, but
Yeah.
I would never try to speak for how anyone else should feel about this case. So
Yeah.
I don't know, when
Yeah.
I'm ready to speak on it, I will, or more likely I won't. But I just
And
appreciate
sometimes,
having an open space here where we don't
yeah,
have to make such weighty considerations that we weren't asked to.
right, exactly. Yeah, don't put that on me. That's how I feel about some of the stuff that she.
Not today, devil.
Not today. Not today. Not when I'm feeling so
Satan.
good.
It's not today, Satan.
All right, I'm gonna end the stream now. Thank you guys so much. Get a library card, and I will talk to you soon.
Bye, Tiff.
Oh, bye. Oh, there we go.